Welcome again. Welcome again to the Downers Food and Lifestyle channel, where we're doing the sourdough, and this is day 5 of doing the sourdough. It hasn't punched up like it's supposed to be. It hasn't given that like rise like it's supposed to, but it does have the froth in it just like it's supposed to also. So basically, that's that permanent on top, meaning it's working. So we're into day 5. So my day 5, I'm not going to be adding the 2 cups of flour. I'm going to be adding 1 cup of flour to it today. So basically, this is just the mix for today. 1 cup of flour, and we out with that. All right, so here we go. 1 cup of flour, and then with that, we drop that into the mix, into the mix, just like that. And like I said, every time you add flour to this, every time, like the correct term is feeding. Every time you feed it with flour, and when you feed it with flour, you're not adding any salt or anything. You're just using the basic flour. And it says also make sure they use unbleached flour. Unbleached flour. So basically, with unbleached flour, gives you a better. It is much better for this kind of thing. So now we're gonna do 1/2 cup of water, and then that's 1/2 cup, and we're gonna pop that in there, and that's that. So now we're gonna mix this bad boy out. And when I mix it out, no form of lumps supposed to be in it. It's supposed to be all creamy. You gotta clean the sides as well, and make sure you mix up everything. So like I said, we didn't throw off anything today because, like I said, I want to get it in there. So I clean the sides, make sure all the flour is down in it. Other people call this mason jar. I call it glass jar. So first of all, Jamaican things already. We stick to the name of stuff. They say grab a glass container or a glass jar. We're not call it mason because we say mason, and that's just a different talk. It doesn't mean anything, so to speak. So basically, yeah, just gotta mix this out. Mix this out well. Always have your spatula. Always use clean stuff. And the reason why I use a spatula is, number one, when you start doing the mix, when you start doing the mix, some of the flour clump up on your mixing stick. I forgot the name of the stick they call this one. So they use this for particular this, but I mean, when you're from Jamaica, you just grab pretty much anything and drop it in there. But me, I went and I got the stick. I think if I got a bigger one, a taller one, it would give me more leverage. Then, not only that, on top of that, with my shoulder issue, yeah, that creates a little bit more issue for me after mixing this kind of stuff. But hey, gotta live anyway. But like I said, right now all I'm preparing for is getting some nice sourdough bread. So this is a sourdough starter. Like we go back again and say it's called sourdough starter. So sourdough starter is like a culture And a culture is like just like when you're making cream, when you're doing what is called kombucha, if I pronounce the correct word, but I just call it kombucha. But y'all know what I mean by kombucha. So yeah. So this is the mix for the starter. So kombucha has its own, and I tried doing kombucha before, but damn, that's a process. Yeah, that is a lengthy process. You gotta have the Scooby, which is a little thing that floats on the top. Mm. Me, I got to the point, but I just say, let me scrap it for now and see what happens. So here we are. And like I said, we're doing the starter for the sourdough starter, and hopefully I'll be able to make my sourdough bread sometime next week, because this is day 5. So we have 2 more days to go when this thing start really getting the real mix. And one thing to remember, it has a smell to it, like a soury smell, and that's where the terms of sourdough come from. So if it smell any kind of way, then that's what it is. If you find any kind of mold growing in it, toss it, get rid of it. So in Jamaica, we used to mix this kind of stuff with flour. And growing up, all right, we used to fly kites. So we never had the glue to glue the paper, or glue. Sometimes we use the plastic bag to do different parts of it, because we want to make different sounds. So we'll use the flour to do this, and the flour will definitely work. So what we'll do is that we'll make paste with the flour, cook the flour into a watery paste and use it, and it worked. I don't know if they do it now. People might just start selling, ready-made kites. But then again, back then they were selling ready-made kites also, where people would make them, and they would sell them back to people. And we would do it for friends as well, but we'll make our own. Makes from the coconut tree bamboo. The coconut tree leaves, not bamboo, sorry. But you can use bamboo depending on the size kite you're making. So if you're making like one of those gigantic kites, which is like, let's say for instance, probably around, standing at like about a 4 or 5 foot, yeah, you want to get that kind of stuff. So you cut it for that kind of thing. Yeah, so the consistency of this, it's not supposed to be too soft, it's not supposed to be watery. Too much water not supposed to be in there. So there's a measurement, and that's the consistency. And if you notice, there's no lump coming out of it. I come back up again, dig to the bottom, come back up again, dig to the bottom, come back up again. There's no lump to it. Yep. So, yep, that's it. And that's how we work that, going through that. Yep, good to go. Yeah, so we ain't finished with this yet. What we're gonna do is, the next move is to clean the sides off. Keep the jar clean. Some people, when it reaches to a stage, what I see them do is throw it out into a different container and wash the jar off again. But that will be into when I'm about to start doing my baking. So I'm gonna have to find a good recipe, a good sourdough recipe, so to speak, and get in on that. I see some people use sourdough to make actually cinnamon bun and stuff like that. Mm. Hey, hey, I got some cinnamon. I definitely do got some cinnamon. And in another couple of weeks, I'll be getting some from Jamaica. And I'm going to be learning some stuff about the Jamaican cinnamon. That's not a actual cinnamon. It's a family of cinnamon, so to speak. But there's some characteristics people there that they're hiding, that they don't want to tell anybody about. So yeah, with this now, we cover it down. See, you notice the end of it clean off, not quite good, but to a certain point. So when you put the lid on it, you put the lid on it. Don't close it down. Some people says put the cloth over it and put elastic over it so I can breathe. I've tried that before, and what ended up happening, I got mold in it. So I'm not sure exactly how that mold come in place, but I don't want that. So what I did, put the cap on it, make 2 turn, you loose, and I said put it in a warm place. And the warm place is, for me, is in the cupboard over the stove. So yes, let's take it back again. So like I was saying to you again, we have here the Aunt May 13 blend spice. It's an all-purpose spice, no additives, no preservative, no salt, 100% spice. That's my grandmother, and you know what, she raised me. So I'm gonna tell you like this is why it's always hot in my kitchen, crazy. And when I do stuff, it's always about making good, healthy food for the body. All right, thanks again, peace out.